Hey guys, it's Othania here from Create Your Future. So today we're going to talk about how to ignore circumstances. Basically, how to collapse unwanted circumstances so you can start experiencing your wanted circumstances, your desires instead. Before we get deep into this video, know that Create Your Future is giving out a free course. If you're interested in that, you could definitely find the link for that in the description box below. Also, if you are in the need of coaching, you can also find the link for that in the description box as well. Let's get into it. So how do you ignore your unwanted circumstances and start bringing about what you actually want to experience? How do we collapse those unwanted circumstances? Okay, so before I get into anything, I always like to make sure that you're understanding the basic way how this all works, right? Everything is created through your thoughts, and what visions you're dwelling in your mind, okay? And that is always going to be pushing out. That is just how life is for us as humans by default, right? So once you understand that you have created your thoughts have created your circumstances, now it's easy to take control and be aware of what to do next. So what's to come will actually be what it is that you want. So ignoring your circumstances, okay? So let's create a scenario to give you a better understanding of how this works. So let's say you have there's a third party in your situation, and you want to remove that third party because that is the unwanted circumstance. And once you have that third party removed, you'll feel better, and you can move into your more desired circumstances and actually experience that instead. So understand that you have an unwanted circumstance in the first place because there was something that you dwelled in, that there was a belief that hasn't been cleaned up before that experience. So for example, like with 3P situation, say you're a woman and you want to be in a faithful relationship with a man, right? You want the commitment, you want everything. You want to have a very successful, whatever your definition of success is, you want that in a relationship. But then also you have a belief that, let's say you have a belief that you feel men always cheat no matter what. It's hard for men to commit. Or if you believe something, once you start dating someone for a year, then all of a sudden things start going downhill. Things like that. If you still have those beliefs somewhere in you and they haven't been cleaned up, you're going to create circumstances that have been pushed out based on those beliefs that you've had previously. Okay, so that's a way you could have created unwanted circumstances. Another way you could create unwanted circumstances is just not feeling good enough for whatever it is that you want. That is like really the main reason on how you create an unwanted circumstance, okay? So understand that has taken place previous as to before the actual experience of the unwanted circumstance. Okay, so now once you're aware of your unwanted circumstance, it's okay to be aware of it, but what you don't want to do is the mistake that you don't want to make, which is what a lot of people make, is giving attention to the unwanted circumstance, feeding the presence of the unwanted circumstance. You feed the presence of your unwanted circumstance by intentionally, on a daily basis, using your time and energy and your awareness, your vision of examining the unwanted circumstance. You're either having conversations with your friends about the unwanted circumstance, you're on 3P, social media, you're trying to figure out what your person is doing with the third party. All of that is you contributing to perpetuate the unwanted circumstances even longer, even though you may not, subconsciously be aware of what you're doing. But every little action that is pertaining to your unwanted circumstance that you're intentionally taking and also feeding with emotion, you're conjuring up your unwanted circumstances, because that is what you're feeding your subconscious. That is what you're feeding into your awareness every day. Instead of you not feeding that and just focusing on what it is that you do want, you'll notice that your unwanted circumstances will start to evaporate, and you'll start to experience more of the things that you want. Okay, so ignoring unwanted circumstances. It's okay to be aware of what you see. Okay, I see that. I don't like that. That hurts me. But you know what? I know that my thoughts create, and I know that at some point in time, what I'm thinking right now is going to have to push out at some time, at some point in my life. And that's where you get your comfortability. That's where you can get to settle in and start feeling a little easy about it, because now you're understanding how this all works. Okay, you got your unwanted circumstance because there was beliefs in you that you haven't cleaned up. There was something that you were believing that was better than you to have that thing that you wanted. So you created that unwanted circumstance because you was feeding your subconscious with the things you didn't want. You was feeding your subconscious with the thoughts that does not align with the version of you that is confident. You were feeding yourself everything that you did not want. You would just kept looking at it. I have to see did SP leave the 3P? I have to see. I have to get this evidence. All of that is creating the unwanted circumstance because you are feeding your subconscious, and your subconscious is never telling you no. It's always telling you yes. So whatever it is that you're feeding it, whatever it is that you're aware of, what you're paying your attention to, that is what you're going to get. Because guys, it's like this. If you're paying for something at the store, you're giving the store your money to pay for it. Obviously, that is what you want. That is what you want to pay for and leave the store with. So it's the same thing as paying attention. If you're paying attention to something, you're letting your subconscious know, yeah, this is what I want. So I want to leave with this. I want to experience this. I want to take this home with me. This is what I want. You're paying your attention. It's your currency. Your attention is your highest currency. Period. So you need to understand that. And once you get that understanding clearly, those unwanted circumstances will automatically begin to cease, because now you're feeding the subconscious something different. It's the same thing with, your body, I guess, even though, food is you pushed out as well. If you believe that what you're eating is better for your body, then you're gonna notice that your body is being in a more productive way because you're feeding it better things than what you fed it before. You understand? So that's the difference. That's the change. That's all that you have to do to flip those circumstances. Don't look at those circumstances and feel like they can't change, because when you do that, you're delaying the change, because you're feeding your subconscious that the circumstances can't change. So it's going to say, all right, it can't change. So we're going to perpetuate you seeing evidence of it that it can't change, guys. So that is exactly how it works. You want to understand that the more attention you feed your unwanted circumstances, the longer they stay around. It's okay to not look, to not want to see if things have changed, because that is going to be what's going to take you to the other side, to where you actually want to be. It's going to take you to you actually getting communication from your person. It's going to take you to you actually getting those promotions at work. It's going to take you to seeing more money come into your bank account, because you're not feeding the attention of what you're seeing now. You're feeding the attention of what you want in your brain. And that's what it takes. Because if you're looking at something and then believing it at the same time while you're looking at it, you're taking that in as a belief, and that's what pushes out. If I look at something, but in my mind, I say, no, this is actually what I see, even if I'm looking right directly at it, but in my mind, I'm saying this is what I see. At some point, my world is going to have to create my vision. Pieces are going to have to move that bring my vision of what I said I saw with complete conviction in my mind, despite what I just see, is going to have to create those scenarios for me to experience, because that is just human life by default, right? So yeah, that is just how you do it. It's a everyday daily process of keeping up with making sure you discipline your mind with what it is that you want. So those unwanted circumstances, because those circumstances are just your unwanted thoughts playing out in physical. That's all that it is. And you can switch it. You can switch it. So yeah, guys, if you ever feel like you ever are in need of an extra push, definitely, you know, look into coaching. It definitely does help. But even more so, you have all the knowledge in these videos, and it's definitely, it's gonna help you. It's still gonna help you. But I intend that you have received something that I said that has helped you get a better understanding of this, and has everything just made it click for you a little better. So yeah, I intend that you have a great day. I intend that you now understand how to transform your circumstances just by the power of your mind and what you focus on. And I intend that you get all the results and the success that you want. So yeah, have a good day.